You're walking down the road and see a falling star, and you make a wish. Ooh, just remember, luck is no such thing. One man succeeds while another man fails. Why is it then, you ask, the stars up above, the planets of light, who controls your very soul? From the beginning of birth and throughout eternity, that's the stars up above. Just ask them. Ooh, just ask them. Planets of light, who controls your very.
Hi, this is Z Starman, and you're watching a special edition of Astrology Numerology Now. I like to call this segment The Great Minds of Astrology and Numerology. And on this segment, we're featuring one of my favorite rising stars and young people in astrology. I look on Facebook and I see this person. He's all over the place. He's at this conference, that conference. Everybody knows the one and the only Demetrius Bagley. Demetrius, welcome to Astrology Numerology Now.
It's good to finally be here. Thanks for having me on here, and thanks for doing the show for 10 years. It's really exciting to see this.
I appreciate that. Tell us about yourself, Demetrius. Where are you from?
I grew up in Chicago, Hyde Park, Kenwood. I could smell Lake Michigan and see it from my bedroom window growing up as a youngster.
Now, were you a Chicago Bull fan? And
You know, I'm not a big sports fan, but I got into when it became the Jordan Show, as we used to call it back way back in the day. Then I got more excited, right? Just a phenomenal athlete, not just a basketball player, but athlete. And leader, and if I recall, but I may be mistaken, I believe he's Aquarius.
He's Aquarius, February 17th.
17th, late, okay. Yeah.
Like yourself, you're an Aquarius?
I'm Aquarius, I'm the 6th, I'm in the middle.
So tell everybody your moon and rising sign.
I'm Aquarius sun, Cancer moon, Gemini rising.
Now, Demetrius, how did astrology find you? Or did you find astrology? How did your astrology journey begin?
Astrology found me. The Prelude was a Linda Goodman book that mixes astrology and numerology. Aquarius 6, Taurus 5, and so on and so forth. Got too carried away with that, too rigid. You know, you're supposed to be Gemini 9. You're supposed to act this way, what the book says, not how you're acting. Then didn't realize it was that was just sun signs. And then it comes all to a chart. About 10 years later, came back to it and just took to it like, I think as they say, a duck to water. It was bringing in these Greek myths with the planets. It was geometry, right, on I would call sacred now or spiritual. These personality types, not a test, but a system that I've always had an interest in before and even since. So just once I understood what it was in a chart and using math and then the birth time and these things. You've got the moon signs, rising signs, and Mars and so on and so forth. Took to it very quickly. Now it's 20 plus years later.
What's your favorite part of astrology? Is it visiting the many conferences that you go to? What's some of your favorite conferences that you've visited?
Astrology touches and can touch everything in life. So as a Gemini rising, some of that appeals to me. One of my favorite things in working with astrology is really being able to talk to people and get to where they're at very quickly that other modalities and methods and therapies don't. So I feel like in a lot of sessions that I've had with one-on-one with people, I'm not even hearing them. They haven't even said too much. It's the chart, and I'm able to say X, Y, Z, and they're like, oh, and you give it context. That's you. That's the energy you have of this Mars Pisces, of a sun at the top of a chart, a moon in the 6th house.
This young man, I've been trying to get on astrology, numerology now for years. I like to call him the ambassador of astrology because everybody knows him. He's all over the place. One minute he'll be in California, and the next minute he'll be in Florida. I'd like to welcome to Astrology Numerology Now, the one, the only, Demetrius J. Bagley. See, we got the city of New York is ruled by Capricorn. We just swore in de Blasio, who happens to be a Taurus.
I don't see the polarization, and maybe I'm not hearing everything Karina just threw out. I think the polarization is, are we going to stand up or are we going to sit down individually, in family groups, in city, and so on, countries, and as a world? Are we going to deal with I'm not sure if we can curse on the show, are we going to deal with the crap, or are we going to try to sneak by it? Some of us are going to try to sneak by it this year, and that will have not necessarily consequences, but that's a different path to choose rather than flushing or shoveling it out or getting rid of it. I think that we have some challenging stuff on the table. For New York City, which I wish I had dived a little bit into before tonight, when Saturn comes to the sun of New York City, which will be a little bit more next year, I think we're going to see infrastructure issues. So my guess at this second would be we might see some more things with the subway. Those might be positive, right? Maybe. We'll see. But I think infrastructure is going to be more of an issue next calendar year. We'll get hints and whispers of it this year, and more so in 2020 because of what's going on there without jumping too far ahead. But I think right now we have to decide, this is our president, for better and for worse. What do we want this president, this government, this governor, this mayor, and what do we want to do with that? And then we need to hash that out better than we have, maybe than ever.
What is your brand of astrology?
Oh gosh, haven't figured out yet.
Are you an astrologer more or less, or are you what, as I like to call you, the ambassador of astrologer?
I'm definitely some sort of ambassador, networker, connector. Connector, I think, is the word a lot of other professional astrologers use for me. I'm a professional astrologer. After 2017, I'm embracing that more and want to see where I can take that. I'm Aquarius Sun, 10th house, top of the chart. I have to take whatever I'm going to do with astrology somewhere different. And I've known that for a long time, but now remembered in the last year and a half. And I think I know more what that is. So it probably won't be too much counseling, one-on-one sessions. I love those, I adore them. But I don't think that's my ultimate career calling.
Who are some of your favorite, we got about 1 minute left. Who are some of your favorite astrologers?
Oh gosh. Arroyo is good, Liz Green is classic, Blaschke did some great work. Rudyard is one of the most important astrologers for me in my growth. Alan Oken, there's so many. Michael Luton, more not the books, but things he said in lectures and just being able to chat with him here in New York City.
Tell people how we can get in touch with you.
You can get in touch with me on Twitter, VeganD, V-E-G-A-N-D, V-E-G-A-N-D on Twitter. You can email me, demetrius@vegand.net.
Will you come back to the show?
Absolutely, absolutely. Glad to be here this time.
Ladies and gentlemen, Demetrius J. Bagley, astrologer extraordinaire. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you so much for having me on and having this show.
Thank you, and this has been a special edition of Astrology Numerology Now. Thank you for watching the show.
While another man fades, why is it then you ask the stars up above, the planets of light, who controls your very soul, from the beginning of birth and throughout eternity? That's the stars up above. Just ask them. Ooh, just ask them. The planets of light, who controls your very soul. Ask them why you is so sound and practical, yet Gemini, so inconsistent. Ooh, let me tell you a secret I know, known the world over. Your life is controlled by the stars.